Rachel Ziemba is an adjunct senior fellow at the Center for a New American Security. She joins me now live from Vancouver in Canada. Great to have you here with us on TRT World. Why India?
Thank you. Why India? This is a confluence of Trump wanting to be tough on Russia, but also because the India-U.S. trade talks went off the rails. The U.S. was looking for more market access in agriculture and looking for other trade concessions. And so I think some of it is timing. However, I think the Indians have a point. If the goal is really to hurt Russia and to reduce its revenue, then it shouldn't be only India that's targeted. Other buyers of fuel should be targeted, and other tools perhaps could be used, including financial sanctions instead of tariffs.
So as I understand, President Donald Trump is basically using Russian oil issue to convince India, or perhaps influence India into a trade deal that is beneficial for the United States. But here's the thing. It also risks hurting the diplomatic relationship between the two countries in the longer run.
That's correct. It risks undermining what several U.S. administrations and Indian governments had tried to forge closer links. But again, I think from the U.S. perspective, they're looking to redraw economic lines. And the other thing it calls into question is a policy the Trump administration was already shifting, was that India is no longer seen as a way to reduce China's role in critical technology supply chains. So the U.S., if anything, is looking to onshore that production. I think they're also using India and pressure on India in the hopes that it will defer some other countries from trading with Russia. But you're right, China's absence in this policy mix is telling.
Right, and the pattern has remained the same for the past few weeks. Donald Trump threatens India with the hefty tariffs. Then, of course, India issues a statement saying that it's not fair. But in terms of real action, we're not seeing real action taking place from the Indian side, as TRT World's Rupert Stone said in his report that India is not giving in. So what kind of risks are involved here for India? For how much longer India can continue this way? Because Donald Trump has threatened heftier tariffs just recently.
Correct, and they're set to come in within the next few hours, actually. There's a grace period if items are loaded onto ships before midnight tonight in the East Coast. That's really just in a few hours. They have a couple of weeks to arrive in the United States, but these tariffs, as far as we can tell, are going into effect. It's always possible that the Trump administration could reduce or delay the implementation or retract them in a couple of days, but in a way, the Trump administration has taken a few steps that might limit the economic blow to India and to the U.S. Overall, Indian exports to the U.S. are less than 2% of India's GDP, and some very important trading items are exempt from these tariffs. And those are things like iPhones and other electronics, also, and those areas. So at the end of the day, India's relatively closed economy could protect it, but this really undermines the Make in India, the development of the manufacturing sector, especially the U.S.-oriented diversification of its economy. India might double down not only in trying to trade with other BRICS countries, but also trying to leverage its new agreement with the United Kingdom, and might look also to trade with other emerging economies. But And India, of course, is also cutting taxes at home, the GST, the cotton prices, to try to ease the burden on domestically. But ultimately, this does call into question the medium-term outlook. Now, what's happening right now with energy is that we have seen some volatility we've seen some volatility in India's purchases of Russian fuel. And this uncertainty has actually meant that India can drive a harder bargain with Russia, get more of a discount. China as well might benefit, and even countries like Turkey, if they're buying in the spot market, might benefit. Russia is adjusting to the fact that there are new European Union sanctions as well that restrict oil product exports, so we're seeing a bit of a shakeup coming. Overall, India's government is holding tough, but the refineries might start hedging a little bit.
Fascinating insights. Rachel, Ziemba, thanks very much for joining me here on TRT World. I really appreciate your taking out the time.